go! Hi girlies, how you doing? Welcome back to my channel. Today, my phone's on the bed. I'm never prepared. I've had this like idea in my head for a while and it's like nothing exciting. Say only what you mean, no games, no double speak. That's a good one. I have an app that like gives you like this quote every day. Kinda crazy. That's not what this is about. Though it could be. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell you why you should read my favourite books. Basically. However, I'm gonna like put a little timer twist on it. I'm gonna set a 10-minute timer and you'll notice how some of the books on my shelf are facing the wrong way. This is because I decided to turn all my books that I haven't read around. Not for this video, just in general. I don't actually know why. However, my favourite books are on the shelf facing the right way. But I am going to set a timer for... Oh, can I do it in 10 minutes? I do talk a lot. Yeah, I'm going to set a timer for 10 minutes. My creaky chair that doesn't turn or swivel or anything. And I'm literally going to pull them off and I'm going to be like, you should read this because... blah, 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 blah. But I really enjoy talking about my favourite books. And I don't have many people that listen to me, I'm not going to lie. I talk a lot and not a lot of people listen and pay attention. So I'm subjecting you to that today. Fun, right? Can I do it in 10 minutes? Okay, I'm going to like panic for like the first 5 seconds. But after that, it'll be fine. And a lot of these might be books that you've heard of, which is fine. It just means you should read them. Or if you have read them, let me know if you like them as well. Okay, the 10-minute timer has started. I'm actually pulling a book off of this pile. First, The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. That's how I say his last name. I don't know how else to say it. I love this book. This is, I don't think I will ever reread this book, but this was one of the first thrillers I ever picked up, like the first like suspense mystery thriller. And I feel like this is a really good one to start with. However, because I thought it was so brilliant, no other mystery has ever lived up to this. The twists, the writing style, the short chapters. It's like so like edible. And I bought myself a new copy because the one I had was a thrifted one. But I was like, if I love it this much, I should own it. The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. Defo. 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 I'm going to put them on the floor and I can put them away afterwards. Next is actually... Let me get them out. I'm so sorry about this, guys. Let me get them out. Next is the Cruel Prince trilogy. I know, I'm so TikTok basic. This was the first books I read after not reading for so long. Or like just reading like cheesy rom-com style books for so long. And it's like the first fantasy series I've read, which is, I would say it's great. It's like, I don't want to say it's YA. I don't know if it's like YA or teen. It says YA on the back. So it's like a YA romance. The romance isn't too strong. The politics isn't too difficult. And there's not really a lot that is like terrible. Some people really don't like the books and that's fine. I love them. And I have new copies of them because I left my old copies with a friend. That's whatever. They can keep them. I'm going to annotate the shit out of this. I also have the Waterstones special edition I got for Christmas. I would get it out, but I just moisturise my hands and I don't want to get grease all over them. But I also remember them just being thicker. Maybe the text was a little bit bigger. I love these books. Cardon was like the first book boyfriend I paid attention to, and they're so freaking good. Oh my god. You just have to, okay? Next, I have A Sky Full of Stars by Danny Atkins. This is a lot of info dumping, so you just have to like be really fast and pay attention, okay? This was one of the first books I read in 2022. Oh my god, that was so long ago. And it's an emotional wreck. So don't read it if you're like on the cusp of being emotional. We have like a child main character, but they sort of like carry themselves and they're not one of those children that like becomes like redundant in the story or like as a character just for the sake of being a character. So what this book is about is this man's wife dies and that's not a spoiler, it's on the back of the book. This man's wife dies and she becomes a donor. Like, her organs are donated to 4 people, and obviously because of like HIPAA violations, is what you call it in America, I don't know, you're not allowed to like contact the recipients of the donated of the donated organ. I'm trying to speak really fast and my brain can't keep up. But the dad does. He contacts all of them because he wants to be close. It's like a way for him to have closure. And I cried, I kid you not, maybe, oh my god, I even like wrote little like my thoughts in the margin. I'm so cute. It's so emotional. It's lovely. All I remember about this book is just crying. That's the only emotion I remember having about this book, is like crying. And I cry at a lot of books for many of different reasons, but this book specifically is always in my mind. I always think about it and I'm like, oh, I cried at this book, and this is the last time I actually like sobbed at a book. Like, sometimes I cry and I'm like, I weep, but sobbing, this book. So if you want a good tearjerker, like, that would make a great movie. But like, it has to be done right. Ooh! What next? Okay. I feel like this goes without saying, and I'm just gonna pull out these two because these two specifically are my favourite so far. Is the ACOTAR series. I didn't love the first one. The first one was like I think I gave it 4.5 or something like that. But these two, this was a 4.95 and this was a 5-star. I think it's because with fantasy, I love a romance. I love romance. But the thing I love more is fighting. I love war. I love the suspense of not like the end of this one. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I have some great resilience not to go into A Court of Frost and Starlight and Silver Flames because I'm reading Throne of Glass. It's taking a while, but I am reading it. I love these books. I say to everyone who I don't want them to steal my ACOTAR personality that they should read these books. If I feel like I'm not going to be threatened by the fact that they love the books, then I recommend it to them. I love these books and I can't let them go. You see how hard I'm holding on to them? I can't not, okay? Like, the characters, the writing, sometimes they can be a little bit difficult to get into, but I say by like chapter 5 or 7, you're like in it. I don't even know how to explain. These 2 books have such good politics, such good like meandering and training, and you get to know the Night Court so well. Oh, like I'm so, I can't. You get it. I'm gonna put them down now. Okay. This wasn't like a 5-star or like a favourite book, but this is one of my favourite women's fiction ever. And I'm calling it a women's fiction instead of like a romance or just a literary fiction or whatever. Simply because it's got undertones of feminism in relation to television expectations of women in relationships. So what this is a dating show where the woman believes they're going on like a date with their partner, and then they end up in this house with 6 other women. You see all the pretty women in the front, and their boyfriend breaks up with them, and they like go on dates with the other girls' boyfriends, I think it is. I don't know if they go on dates with just boys in general or like their own ex-partner or the other girls' partners. But the whole point of like being on the shelf, this is The Shelf by Helly Acton, by the way, if I just didn't say that. It's like The Wrong Bachelor, if you've read that like YA teen I hated that book. This one is like the adult version, and it's so good. It's so fast paced. I read it so fast, and I was like rooting for the women. I was like, why are men so annoying? So if you're ever angry at men and you're just like, I need someone who's gonna be able to like help, is this. Like, I don't know. And like the women have such a good like, not rebound, but realization that they're just so much better off without men in like the best way possible. And I don't know, there's something so humiliating about the beginning of this book that the end of the book is so good. I think I might rate it like a 3.5 or like a 4.5, like between that range, but it was a really good book. I really recommend. Oh my god, oh my god. Oh, Oh my god. Okay. Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier is a modern day classic, and maybe you've seen the movie or maybe you've heard about this story. Maybe you read it for school, I don't know. I was recommended this by a friend who studied history and English literature at uni. And like I read the first 5 chapters and I just didn't touch it for 2 weeks, and then I binged the rest of the book. Like absolutely devoured it. It's mysterious, it's thrilling, it's sort of long-winded, but in a way where you're like, I can't put this down. So like once you get past chapter 5, it starts to make sense, because we follow this lady who is a companion to Madame. She's like traveling in the south of France, I believe it's the south of France, with her matron, basically. So she was like a lady in waiting, essentially, and she meets Maxim de Winter, who is Rebecca's ex-husband. However, Rebecca isn't the woman in the book. She is the ex-wife, the dead wife. And the soul and the spirit of Rebecca haunts Manderley, which is the manhouse in which they live in Cornwall, I think it is. And it's like this woman is trying to not replace Rebecca, but like she's constantly living in her shadow. The staff of the house are always sort of like, well, Rebecca would have done this, that and that. But this is the first time, because she's a young woman, this is the first time she's like had to be in charge of a house. Like she's never done that before. She's just, no! She's just like done what she's told and not been expected to tell others what to do. My timer went off. How many books did I even talk about? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Technically 6, but some of them were in series. Oh my god, that was fun. I feel like I've had energy disperse out of my body. Well, did I have any more that I like wanted to talk about? Oh, I suppose if I'd looked a little bit longer, I would have pulled out a couple more. My throat hurts from being too excited. I hope you enjoyed this really fast ranting monologue. I really tried my hardest. I feel like I finished the first book within a minute, but then the rest I chatted too much because I tried to convey so much information about each book that I loved to make other people want to read it and then to love it. But it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. So I think I might do this again in a couple months, maybe because I've not had a 5-star read yet this year. So it'd be fun to do it like once I get more books that I love from this year that obviously I haven't read yet. But if you've read any of these books or you haven't, let me know if you feel like you might, or if they're already on your TBR, or if you have already read them, let me know what you think. And I'll see you next time for another video. I'll see you soon. Love you, bye.